is Yu Darvish.
He swings and misses. He just did, swinging and missing.
Got Lamb 1-2, and a swing and a miss. How about 4 in a row for Yu Darvish?
Jay Bruce has his first 2-homer game with the Tribe.
Bruce gives the Mets the lead with a 2-run homer.
Swung on, socked high in the air to right center and deep. Soler is back at the wall, and it is gone! A towering home run to right center by Carlos Santana.
And a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Bellinger hits it hard. Got a chance to turn it here. 4, 6, 3, and a double play! And the ball game is over!
The wind and pitch, Kane swings, and it is gone. A home run for Lorenzo Cain.
It was a bit surreal, but I've had a lot of those moments, I think, the last couple of months as we've started to prepare for this season. It was special, walking down the hall, walking into the clubhouse, into my office, walking down to the dugout for the first time, kind of getting a lay of the land and feeling the facilities a little bit and, you know, understanding that, you know, now is the time. And the excitement that goes with that because of the group of guys that we've assembled. So as far as the biggest challenge.
Aaron Boone there talking about his first spring training as the Yankees' new manager as the Yanks pitchers and catchers report today. So we're going to hear a little bit more about what's going on down there at Yankees camp in just a little bit. Hey everyone, welcome to 1225 Live. I'm Alexa Datt. Some interesting notes, by the way, about the Yankees. Aaron Judge is getting a locker there in the corner of the spring training clubhouse, and it's Alex Rodriguez's old locker. So we'll see how that all pans out for them. We also have pitchers and catchers reporting across the majors at all different camps. We're going to be live from Port St. Lucie with Anthony DeComo, who's going to talk to us about Noah Syndergaard's arm, Matt Harvey's conditioning, as well as some of the other guys down there and how this is all playing out for the Metsies. We're also going to have Anthony Castrovince join us, and he is going to talk to us about if he feels like the Yankees could potentially sign J.D. Martinez. What? Does that even make sense for this team? And what happens if it doesn't work out with the Red Sox and Diamondbacks, as well as does he feel like Jake Arrieta could stay in the NL Central? So many questions to be answered here today on the show. Thanks so much for joining us. And as we start off every day, we're going to start off today here as well with our social savant, Dani Wexman. And Dani, it's Fat Tuesday, so we're going to celebrate in style today, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Have you ever gone to New Orleans, celebrated Mardi Gras?
I have. I love Mardi Gras. I love the energy and the feel, all the people down there who are all down just to have a good time. I loved it. Have you ever been?
I have been. I've been once. I went in college, last minute trip down there with my friends, and it was the best time ever. And New Orleans is incredible. So we're going to be talking a little bit of Mardi Gras later in the show. But man, spring training is here, and my butterflies, I have all the butterflies. I'm so pumped, dude. All
right, so we have a spring training photo of the day that we want to share with everyone. Every day we have a photo. This one kind of stood out to us because it was really bizarre. We had the Pirates pitchers and catchers report yesterday, and this is Francisco Cervelli and Felipe Rivero. What are they wearing, Dani?
Okay, so I saw this and I was like, we have to show this photo. It looks like they just got off riding like dune buggies in the desert and they needed to cover their face, or they went to Burning Man or something. But no, they're just at spring training hanging out. Maybe they're trying to intimidate other players. They knew their photo would be taken and other teams would see it.
Yeah, maybe. I'll tell you who they're not intimidating. They're not intimidating their teammate, Trevor Williams. This guy has intimidation factor all on his own. It's just him and a keyboard. And he's going ham on this keyboard. What did the keyboard ever do to you?
That poor keyboard.
Man.
You know what's strange is Trevor Williams loves social media and loves, typing things out. So I just am confused why he would ever do this to a keyboard.
First day of spring training went great, he says. So I'm glad that he got all of his anger issues out.
In his humble opinion.
In his humble opinion.
Yes.
All right, we've been predicting the outcomes of all the different divisions, and today we're doing the NL East. So Dani and I are going to predict how we believe this division is going to shake out. But let's remind you how the division finished up last year. Nationals were on top, and then really it was everyone else. Nationals obviously led by Max Scherzer's Cy Young season and Steven Strasburg's otherworldly second half of the second season in a row. Nats took the NL East, followed by the Marlins, thanks to Stanton's 59 home runs, the Braves, the Mets, who were decimated with injuries, and then the Phillies. So, Dani, in terms of 2018, I know we're both in agreement here, and I know we both feel like the Nationals will win the NL East because not only only do they have the best rotation in the National League, they've got these guys who create a really formidable lineup, right? So they've got Ryan Zimmerman and Bryce Harper and Daniel Murphy and Anthony Rendon, and they've got Trey Turner, who's such a speedster, and they've got Adam Eaton coming back. And they fixed their bullpen. So for an entire season, they're going to have an amazing bullpen, the law firm, as they call it down there in D.C., being able to help these guys out. Because remember, they were blowing a lot of games early last season, and it became a question. They finally addressed it at the trade deadline. But this year, no question marks going into the season for that relief corps. So I'm really excited to see this. And, you know, the internal optimist in me says that they are going to not only win the division, they're going to go on and break their curse in the postseason. But we'll see how that all plays out. But so if we're both in agreement with the Nationals taking the division, how do we believe the rest of the division shapes up?
Okay, so I know that you are high on the Mets, and we talked about this yesterday. We talked about their rotation and how we think they're going to fare. Now, I don't think that the Mets are going to get a wild card spot. I do think they're going to come in second place, but I think the Phillies are going to challenge them. I think it's going to come neck and neck because that team, they're young. They're so young. They have Aaron Nola at the helm of that rotation. That guy's been here for a couple years now. They have Rhys Hoskins, who hit 19 home runs in just 50 games. He's going to be in his first full major league season. And by the way, the oldest guy on the field for the Phillies, that's Carlos Santana at first base at 31 years old. The rest of the guys, they're young, but they've been together. And I think they're going to challenge this Mets team who needs to stay healthy. If they cannot stay healthy, I think, now we saw the Marlins came in second last year. The Marlins are definitely not going to come in second, but I think that the Phillies are really going to give the Mets a run for their money this season.
Yeah, I you know, it's funny because I do believe in this Phillies team and I really like them, but I still think that they are a year or maybe two away from really competing in this division.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the Mets and the Nationals kind of going head to head, and I think the Nationals eventually end up prevailing, but the Mets really do put the pressure on the Nats because, again, the eternal optimist in me says that this rotation is going to stay healthy, and the fact that they added Jay Bruce, who had almost 30 home runs for them last year, is going to be such a huge part of this lineup and giving this rotation run support so they do not feel all of this pressure. They are making a really smart decision as they changed their training staff in the offseason to limit these guys through the rotation, through the lineup. And I feel like that's going to be huge in terms of not giving these guys, you know, too many innings on their arm. A lot of the workload is going to be on Noah Syndergaard and Jacob deGrom. If these two can stay healthy, and a lot of these guys end up performing just really to the expectation of, you know, going out there and giving what they can every turn in the rotation, I feel like it's going to be okay for them. So fingers crossed, and we'll see. We're going to talk to Anthony DeComo in just a bit, who's going to be live from Port St. Lucie, and he'll fill us in on what he's seen from the rotation so far.
I cannot wait to hear from Anthony about everything that's going on. And he is a photographer, too. He's not just a reporter, he's a photographer. Right. So you guys are going to talk about these photos that he's been taking. But no, I'm excited, too. And I'm excited to watch Todd Frazier, honestly. Let's go out and eat some popcorn and watch Todd Frazier play for the Mets. But listen, our question of the day today, it is Fat Tuesday. It's Mardi Gras, so we're putting a little spin, the 1225 live spin on Mardi Gras and Fat Tuesday. Today is the day that you eat all your favorite foods and do all the things that maybe you're going to stop doing for 40 days and 40 nights, if that's the kind of thing that you celebrate and that you're into. So we're celebrating today, and if you're not on Facebook, head over now, because our question of the day, if you give up something for 40 days and 40 nights, and you could get something in return that has to do with baseball, in the baseball world. Maybe you get tickets to the World Series. Maybe you get to meet your favorite player. What would you give up for 40 days and 40 nights to be able to get this great, in the end, prize, so to speak? So go to Facebook. Let us know. We're going to read those comments a little bit later in the show.
All right, sounds good. I have a pretty good answer, Dani, so I think you'll like this later on in the show.
Okay.
All right, time for us to head live down to Port St. Lucie right now as our Mets team reporter Anthony DeComo joins us right now. And Anthony, pitchers and catchers reported yesterday for the Mets, and you tweeted out an amazing photo of Noah Syndergaard, who was jacked in his photo. How is his health? How does his arm look? And what were your first impressions of seeing him?
He looks like Thor, right? That's the best way to put it. And it's funny because there it is right there. Quote, "Do I look jacked?" He asked me, and I think Cut 4 wrote up a little post about it, and the answer was yes, he does. Now, the funny thing about Noah Syndergaard is that's not always the best thing. That worries some fans because he spent so much time last year working on his muscles and on his strength and on throwing as hard as he possibly could, and it didn't wind up working out that well because he got hurt And a lot of people said, is this because he was too strong? Is this because he spent too much time focusing on that and not as much time focusing on flexibility? So he says he's learned those lessons, and he's obviously not giving up heavy weights anytime soon, but he understands the importance of other things now as well. And I would not put it past Noah Syndergaard to go out there, his first spring training start, whenever that is, and throw 100 miles an hour, because he's Noah Syndergaard.
Interesting also that this offseason he was saying, when they told me to go get the MRI last year, I should have listened. So I feel like a more mature Noah Syndergaard as well as we see him coming to camp. Then you broke the internet, Anthony, with a picture, a less than flattering picture of Matt Harvey here, and we had a lot of comments on this photo. Let me ask you, though, kind of on a serious note, is the team concerned at all about his conditioning?
No, honestly, no. This is the same. This is the same organization that employed Bartolo Colon for 3 years. So it's not that big a deal. And I thought it was funny, kind of some of the reactions. I was expecting a lot of the reactions that photo got. But at the end of the day, when Matt Harvey was at his best, he had probably a little more weight than he's had in past recent years. For pitchers, it really doesn't matter. It's not necessarily an indication that he's not in good shape. I will be far more interested to see once he gets out there in games and in a stadium where we have a radar gun tracking him, how hard is he throwing? More than that, where is his command at? If he can do that at 220 pounds or at 180 pounds or at 300 pounds, I don't think the Mets really care as long as he's delivering those pitches. And we've seen throughout the league that you don't necessarily have to be in bodybuilder shape to get guys out. Yeah, CeCe Sabathia, a great example of that. I know some fans were pointing that out. So we'll see how that goes. We'll keep a close eye on that. In terms of Zach Wheeler, you pointed out that he has spent the last 6 months injecting a bone growth drug into his stomach daily to prevent injury. Hold on, what? And how concerning is it that he's taking extra preventative measures to stay healthy? I mean, I think it's concerning in the sense that he's taking a drug essentially that's designed for elderly people, for osteoporosis patients, because he has had a hard time staying healthy, and he thinks doctors have told him that this will help keep his arm intact, help keep his bones strong, and so on and so forth. But this is a 27-year-old guy we're talking about. This is a guy who is supposed to be at a time in his life where he's in peak physical condition, where he's in the prime of his career, and I would just say the same thing about Zach Wheeler that I would say about Steven Matz, that I would say about a lot of these guys, which is until we see that Matt Harvey's healthy and Steven Matz is healthy and Zach Wheeler is healthy on a consistent basis, I can't believe it's going to happen. These are not guys who were just hurt last year. These are guys who have had years and years and years now of injury problems that have derailed their careers, that have derailed this expectation of these guys as the quote-unquote best rotation in baseball, as the quote-unquote one of the best rotations of all time. We haven't seen it, and I'm not saying they can't do it, but they have to go out in there. They have to prove it to the team, to the fans, to everyone before you can just walk into spring training and say, yeah, they're going to be there. They're going to be in the rotation. They're going to be just fine.
Yeah, you've pointed this out several times on Twitter, their lack of ability to stay on the field and stay healthy, and also the abundance of free agent arms that are out there that are for the taking and would be great fits for this Mets team. What's GM Sandy Alderson saying about potentially adding another arm?
Well, if you're a Mets fan, I wouldn't get your hopes super high, and that's not to say that they're not looking. Certainly they are intrigued, as are most teams around baseball, at the fact that Lance Lynn is still out there and Alex Cobb is still out there and Jason Vargas, and that's not even to mention the top of the market, Jake Arrieta still hasn't gone. So there are lots of names, there are lots of arms to be had, and the Mets are certainly keeping tabs on that, particularly at the bottom of the market when you look at a Jason Vargas or a Jaime Garcia and an Andrew Cashner, those guys who maybe you can have on a one-year deal or even possibly if the market really falls on a minor league deal. They're going to keep tabs, but they're also kind of intrigued by what they have. They don't want to go terribly over budget. They're at about $145 million payroll right now, and I get the sense they don't really want to move that if they don't have to. So what they're doing right now is just getting to camp, pitchers and catchers officially first workout tomorrow. They want to see Matt Harvey in action. They want to see Zach Wheeler in action. They want to see Steven Matz in action and Seth Lugo and Robert Gesellman. And once they get a sense for where these guys are at, knowing that there's enough names of free agent pitchers out there right now who are still unsigned, the Mets can theoretically gauge what they have a little better now that they can see it in person and then make a decision, because they're pretty confident that in a week, there's still going to be some names out there to be had.
All right, we've talked about the physical transformation of Matt Harvey. How about the physical transformation that Mets fans really care about? And that's Jacob deGrom cutting off all of his hair. Man, this guy had such great flow, and now it's all gone. Any concern that his mojo could be going with the hair?
Well, look at that picture. Look at how happy he is, Alexa. So clearly it's fine. You know, I actually saw Jacob deGrom for the first time with the short hair about 2 weeks ago, and he had cut it literally the day after the season. And Jose Reyes spilled the beans on that one with, I believe it was a Snapchat that he showed from the clubhouse, and it was Jacob deGrom with short hair, and everybody freaked out. But I saw him for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and I said, well, have you cut it again since? And he said, yeah, I actually cut it again once. I'm going to cut it again right before spring training, which it doesn't look like he actually went through with that. But he's going to keep going. And, yeah, the good news, I guess I can say for Mets fans who are upset about this, is that Noah Syndergaard said, no way, I'm keeping mine. I'm keeping the long blonde locks, and so Mets fans will at least have that to go on. And Robert Gesellman, too, still has his very long flow.
Yeah, well, so I'm guessing Thor thinks a lot of his superpowers are in that flow, so fingers crossed that he ends up keeping it for as long as he possibly can. All right, so you were talking about how Mets fans are talking about all these kind of different things on Twitter. The other thing they were talking about was Tim Tebow, and Tebow recently went on Jimmy Fallon and said that he expects to make the majors. That's his goal. That's what he wants to do, even though there are a lot of haters and doubters out there. What's the actual likelihood that Tim Tebow makes it to the majors?
Oh, it's close to zero, but it's still significantly higher, I would say, than it was a year ago when everyone thought he was a total joke. And you know, a year ago, he wasn't saying those things. He was very reticent to say, I want to make the major leagues. It was more, I want to have fun. I want to do the best I can do. I want to see where this goes. But all of a sudden, he went and he had an okay year in A-ball. He'll probably go back to high A, St. Lucie, and see if he can improve upon that. But you know, he's 3 steps away from the majors right now. And yes, he's 30 years old. It's almost impossible, barring some intervention by the Mets, some publicity stunt, to say that he's going to get there on his own merits. But a year ago, it seemed like, he's going to go hit 050 in low A ball, and that'll be the end of it. Well, he's still here. And so the fact that he's still here and saying these things makes me say that there's at least that 0.1% chance that he could ultimately do it. If anyone can, and this is the same thing I said a year ago, if anyone can, it is clearly this guy who has defied odds throughout his athletic career.
So you're saying there's a chance. There's always a chance with Tim Tebow, man. That's how this guy works, right? The other thing that was kind of creating a little bit of controversy for Mets fans on Twitter is the fact that their new reliever, A.J. Ramos, wants to potentially shack up with his former teammate, Giancarlo Stanton. This is a rival. You can't live with your rival, especially what's going to happen during the Subway Series.
Yeah, hey, this isn't just a pipe dream. They are very good friends, dating back almost a decade now from their time in the Marlins. They've been looking at apartments together in Manhattan, and the funny thing is A.J. Ramos was asked about it yesterday, and he said, well, yeah, you know, we're friends. We're looking at places. It'll be a lot of fun. But when the Subway Series comes around, I'm gonna set up some traps in the apartment and maybe mess up his sleep. So I guess advantage Mets when it comes to that. If you can mess up the best player on the other team, maybe this is what he was going for, is not the friendship thing with the rivalry.
Yeah, I'd be worried, though, that Giancarlo Stanton has the money to be able to put up all kinds of traps and endless budget there to get him back. So I don't know. You've got to watch out. But that should be pretty fun.
Maybe not the prank war. Yeah, maybe not the prank war you want to get into when the other guy makes $325 million.
Yeah, and hits 59 home runs. So we'll see. All right, Anthony, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy your time down there in the sunshine.
You got it, Alexa.
See ya. All right, Dani, bringing you back in. We're talking Fat Tuesday. What's our question of the day?
Yes, this is a great one. So it's a great week. We have Fat Tuesday. We have Valentine's Day tomorrow, which we have a lot of fun stuff for. But today we are asking you guys if you could give up something for 40 days and 40 nights, but in return, you get something that you want from baseball. You get to meet your favorite player. You get to go on a tour of a ballpark. You get tickets to any game you want. Anything that your brain can think of. What is it? We've had some great responses, but we need a few more from you guys on Facebook. So let us know in the comments. We're going to read those at the end of the show.
All right, sounds good. Hey, Dani, one of our favorite videos of all time is always when players go undercover, right? Yes. They adapt this new identity, especially baseball players when they freak out some of the fans and even their own players. Yonder Alonso pulled this off pretty well. Take a look.
Hey guys, this is Yonder Alonso with the Cleveland Indians, and I'm going incognito here in Tri-Fest. Who are these guys? In the city. How you guys doing? Oh, okay. Historians.
We got another view of
No baseball guys.
during the demolition in the early 50s to cut it down to just.
How about the new guy, Alonso?
Here we are around 1960.
Yeah.
You can see the seats have been removed.
Me too.
All that was left in there.
Can I go real quick? Yeah? All right. Wayne, big fan.
How are you?
I follow you on Instagram.
Oh, very cool. I love Instagram followers.
Yeah. Do you have anything on Alonso?
Not yet.
Will you?
Probably not. I mean, your guy?
Yeah, I think he's going to get him over the top. Corey.
Oh, yeah.
Kluber.
Hey, man, yeah, I'm not Kluber.
Wow.
No, sorry, man.
Your second Cy Young, congrats.
Yeah, that's not me.
Can you sign it?
Yeah, that's not me, man.
This must be an old photo.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Mike Clevenger.
Fan.
Yeah.
What type of conditioner do you use? Great Flow. What's your spirit animal like? Mine's a liger. Liger. Mejia. Where's Yonder at?
I don't know. He's not here.
Is he as good looking in person as he is on TV?
Yes, he is TV.
Yes. Yes. I'm a big fan. Okay, I'm gonna sit down. Yeah.
Yander's coming later.
Yeah.
You can sit here for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey guys. No, I guess I'll take it off. Look good. Do it right. We're gonna start doing it right. Thank you guys for your patience. Appreciate it. Thank you. Can we get autographs? Autographs.
So well done, man. I can't believe he faked out his own teammates. That was incredible.
The best part is Mejia's like, yeah, man, you can sit. Like, just hang out. Yonder will be here, but you can sit there
He like moves the plaque away. He's like, I don't want anyone to think that you're
Yonder
there.
Alonso. Yeah. No, so good. And his spirit animal is a liger.
My favorite.
Right?
Yeah, Napoleon Dynamite.
So good.
All right, thanks, Dani.
You're welcome.
We'll check in just a little bit. We're going to stick with our Cleveland theme here as we head to Cleveland, Ohio right now and welcome in Anthony Castrovince. Castro, if you were there at Indians Fan Fest, would you have been able to pick out Yonder Alonso? I mean, it's crazy that even though his own teammates couldn't even figure him out, it was shocking that no one could actually figure out that was him.
No, I don't think I would have picked up on that either, to be honest. He's a bigger dude, so, height-wise, so, I guess he kind of stands out in a crowd that way. But, no, I think he would have put one by me as well. But I am 1/18th Liger, though, so, I feel an affinity towards Yonder Alonso for that.
It's your spirit animal, too. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we're going to play a little game here, fair or foul. I'm going to give you a statement, and you're going to tell me whether you believe in it or absolutely not. So let's start with the Yu Darvish deal. Yu Darvish will help push the Cubs over the edge this season and win the pennant as the best team in the National League. Fair or foul?
I think that's fair. I just did a comparison of the Cubs and Dodgers are clearly the class of the NL. The last two pennant winners, they faced each other in NLCS the last 2 years. And I put the Dodgers slight edge, just depth and flexibility. But, you could flip a coin and come out either way as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not married to that concept. Darvish definitely strengthens the Cubs, probably puts them up there right behind the Astros in terms of rotations, in my opinion. It's a really good-looking starting five. I think Tyler Chatwood was, their big signing for a while there, and now he slots in at 4 or 5 in that rotation. He's an interesting candidate, moving from Coors Field. And you got Darvish, of course, who I think has a lot of great innings left in him. So it's a great-looking ball club.
All right, how about the Twins who lost out on Yu Darvish and then are going to be without Ervin Santana for several weeks here? They've been in talks with the Rays about trading for Chris Archer. Archer plays with the Twins in 2018. Fair or foul?
I'm going to go foul with that one. It could happen. The Twins do have a deep farm system. Maybe not like as many upper echelon, like guys right on the cusp of the big leagues, like some other clubs, and maybe not household names in that regard, but a lot of depth. So they could pull off this trade, but I don't know. I just feel like Alexa, they're probably more likely to sign somebody, to spend the dollars. I think they have the financial wiggle room to do so. It might be a Jake Arrieta or maybe somebody in that next tier, but it's just the Rays have to be overwhelmed for Archer.
And he's had a good career, not a great one. So it's an interesting case of finding that right trade value. But I just don't know that the Twins or other teams are going to pay the price it might take to land him from the Rays.
All right, how about another team who's going to be without their ace for a little while, the Brewers, as Jimmy Nelson is recovering. They've already added Lorenzo Cain and Christian Yelich. The Brewers add Jake Arrieta as he stays in the NL Central. Fair or foul?
Well, it's both fair and foul. I'm going to lean towards foul. It is fair. The concept is fair. Obviously, the Brewers have incentive to go out and land a big ticket starting arm like Arrieta, stealing him, so to speak, from a division rival. But I just don't see them doing, the major pitching contract for a guy north of 30 like that. I think they're just more likely to make a trade. They might be more likely to make the Chris Archer type trade, or maybe something more low profile from the Rays like Jake Odorizzi. But yeah, I just see them going down that road. And again, I come back. I think Arrieta and the Twins makes a lot of sense as a team with money to spend. Not many major future financial obligations. A team that wants to take that next step forward, and obviously lost out on Yu Darvish, but maybe Jake Arrieta is their backup plan.
All right, how about the Yankees, who have also been monitoring the starting pitching market and would love to add another arm? The Yankees will trade for Rays Jake Odorizzi before opening day. Fair or foul?
Well, I just traded him to the Brewers, so I guess I'll say foul with the Yankees. But, obviously, anytime it's within the division, there's an added complication factor there. I don't think it's too extreme a complication these days. You're kind of competing with everybody with the wild card, everybody in your league, that is. So it could happen. And there's some other trade candidates out there. Patrick Corbin is on that list. So maybe the Yankees can go outside their division for help. But I do think Odorizzi gets traded. I would lean towards him going to the Brewers. I think sentimentally, I want him to go to the Brewers just because it's such a fun story where they basically will have acquired all but Alcides Escobar from the Zach Greinke trade. Gotten all those guys back: Lorenzo Cain, Odorizzi, and Jeremy Jeffress. So that would be kind of interesting if that happened. But Odorizzi is certainly a candidate to go to the Yankees. There's no doubt about that.
Do you think the Yankees are more likely to add a starting pitcher via trade or free agency?
Probably via trade, I would think. They got a lot of depth in their farm system, and I don't think it'd be a Chris Archer type. But if they were, I think it'd be more like a trade. But I think they could also look at the rotation they have and feel pretty good about it, and just address this conversation maybe mid-season if need be. The Yankees retain that luxury. Same thing in their infield as well. They got a bunch of young kids competing at second base and third base. And I think they're deep enough and strong enough to take all of their questions in the regular season, because I like the strength of their farm system to go out and make whatever trade needs to be made mid-year.
Yeah, and maybe they could potentially move Jacoby Ellsbury or Brett Gardner. I know Ellsbury has that no-trade clause, so we'll see how that all pans out. JD Martinez is fed up with talks in Boston. That's looking more and more unlikely, although obviously that door is still open. He could also still return to the Diamondbacks. But fair or foul, the Yankees will decide to dominate the offseason and sign JD Martinez.
Well, that'll be fun, but I'm going to say foul. I'm going to say way foul. I think that's I think that's back in the net. It's just you can only play. You're only allowed to play one right fielder at a time. And they've already got, Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge. So I don't see that happening. But, this guy is – it's hard for me to not imagine he ends up with the Red Sox, despite the way everything's gone and the story you referenced from last week. It's just the only fit that makes the right amount of sense in terms of him getting, the kind of salary he wants. And obviously it's nowhere near where he wanted the winner expected to be, but – the Diamondbacks can't sign him. The reported 5-year, $125 million offer, the Diamondbacks can't do that. So it seems to me the Red Sox are the best option for him financially, and he's the best option for them lineup-wise. Let's get this done.
All right, let's go back to the Brewers, because you mentioned how you would love to see them add Jake Odorizzi, but I think it's interesting because they are going to be at Tim Lincecum's showcase this week, and I know a bunch of other teams are too. Yeah. Man, it's two-time Cy Young Award winner at 33, trying to make a comeback. Fair or foul, Tim Lincecum actually pitches in meaningful games in 2018.
Well, I'm going to say fair just because I like Tim Lincecum, and I'm rooting for Tim Lincecum, and, long been one of the more fascinating figures in baseball, and it'd be great to see him make a meaningful comeback, as you say, meaningful innings. Obviously, the last time we had these conversations and he was trying to make it back with the Angels, that did not pan out particularly well. He's always a guy who, the stuff, I'm just watching these highlights now. I remember just how fun it was to watch Tim Lincecum pitch. It's an easy guy to root for. So, there'll be quite a few teams at that showcase for scouts later this week on Thursday up in the Seattle area. And, I wish him the best. I hope he is pitching meaningful innings this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's an even year, and if the Giants are due for a comeback, why isn't Tim Lincecum? I feel like that's just fair. That's the way it should go.
That's the thing. It's like nothing feels right outside of San Francisco there, but obviously, there could be other opportunities for him.
Yeah, of course. All right, we got a couple of fan questions before we let you go. Justin said, fair or foul, Jacoby Ellsbury gets traded.
I'm going to say foul. I mean, too much money, not enough production, the no trade clause, as you mentioned. These are all complicating factors, and with where we're at in this free agent class, there's still some quality outfielders out there in free agency. So I just don't see why some team would pony up the dollars to take Ellsbury off the Yankees' hands.
All right, and then Bruce said, any word on the health of Michael Brantley right now?
Nothing yet. It's kind of status quo there, where his progression through spring training will be obviously at a slower pace than that of his teammates, and I would not expect him ready for opening day, but hopefully soon thereafter in the month of April. And then the question is just who starts in left field for them. Melvin Upton Jr. is a corner outfield option for them at the start of the season. Is a non-roster guy. And they have some other bodies there, but yeah, Brantley will be on the slower path for sure.
I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say you think it's very, very fair that pitchers and catchers are finally reporting, and we feel like baseball's right around the corner. Is that fair to say?
That's fair. That's fair, Alexa. I've always thought you're very fair, and that might be the fairest thing you've ever said. Yes.
I appreciate that. All right, thanks, Castro. Appreciate you joining us.
All right. See you next time.
Talk soon. All right, we got the Winter Olympics, Dani, and it's been so fun to watch. I don't know if you've been following some of these athletes doing these incredible things, and everyone's like, it's so fun for you to sit on your couch and watch from a distance, but if you were ever to even try to, attempt any of these sports, you would fall flat on your butt and go crying home to your mom. So I feel 100% that way. But we were watching a couple of, of these Olympic athletes having baseball connections, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So how about a baseball shout-out? Jonathan Garcia, who's a speed skater. He's from Houston. Look at him rocking the Astros cap before his training and giving Jose Altuve a little bit of a shout-out there. By the way, he's not hopping on the Astros bandwagon, so enough of that. He was an Astros fan before it was cool to be an Astros fan, like back in 2014 when he was competing in Sochi. And Craig Biggio was 100% behind him, which was pretty cool. So good luck to Jonathan, and go Stros.
Yeah, I love this. I think this solidifies the title World Series champions, right? Not just over here in the United States.
You get a gold medal, and you get a gold medal.
Maybe they will I guarantee you we see him throw out a first pitch, and he brings a medal if he gets one. So
yeah, good point.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, then everyone gets to rock the gold medal as well as the World Series trophy.
Yes.
I think life's complete pretty much after that.
Full circle, full circle. And listen, down in Texas, they're celebrating too. We had the Howard baseball team who were inspired by the curlers. Who hasn't been inspired by the curling teams? And they're using bats. And probably this looks like a lacrosse ball, maybe one of those balls to stretch out when you've got tight muscles, and they're getting the job done, Lex. What do you think?
I love this. I think curling is so interesting. I don't really understand it, but I think the outfits are hilarious, and mimicking the motion is my favorite. It's just been so fun to watch because we only see it, once every 4 years. So when it does show up, it's always pretty entertaining.
It's interesting watching because you're learning more about it, because I wouldn't say it's like a nerdy sport by any means, but it's definitely different. They're not speeding down hills and doing crazy tricks. It's a lot more defined. So you're like watching their feet and their hands.
Yeah.
So it's super cool.
Yeah, it is one of those sports that's definitely out there. And you don't really, people are like, oh, it's like close to shuffleboard. Yeah, right. My grandma played shuffleboard. She could not curl.
Shuffleboard.
Yeah. That's not the same thing, but good try, people.
Close.
Nelson Cruz is also getting set for the season, and he's doing it in style down in his native Dominican Republic. Obviously, mashing some BP homers here. Just sending these as far over the wall as you possibly can. The wall looks really far, but guess what? He's getting them over the wall anyway. He's also doing some fantastic charity work, Dani.
Yeah, of course. The guy, listen, he does it on the field, off the field. He's handing out some different things to some baseball equipment and T-shirts to all those kids who are there, which is super cool. So I love seeing this. He's a team player, and I think he's great for baseball. So I can't wait to watch him this season.
Yeah, and I know a lot of these guys spend a lot of their off-season, back home, and it means a lot to them to be able to give back. So good to see them doing that.
Pay it forward, right?
There you go.
It's great.
All right, question of the day.
Our question of the day. This might have been our best so far this year, or this season. I was about to say this season, in our season. So we asked you guys if you could give up something 40 days and 40 nights since it's Fat Tuesday and get something in return in the baseball world, what would you want in return? All right, so I'm going to go through the list here. Lance, I'd give up tacos to meet Mike Trout. For 40 days, no tacos.
It'd be a tough thing to give up.
Yes.
But okay.
Scott, I give up pizza for 40 days to meet Judge, class act, team player, and humble.
Y'all are real fans because these are some tough things to give up, that's for sure.
Just you wait. Marco, I'd give up my mom's amazing chicken cutlets to meet my man, Didi Gregorius.
I mean, I've never had them, so I can't really speak on their behalf, but if they're that good, man, I don't know. You might want to hold on to those chicken cutlets.
Our friend Tim, I'd give up beer to play catch with Bill Murray in the St. Paul Saints Stadium.
I would do that.
Yes.
100%, for
no
sure.
question.
I'm down.
Okay, let's see. Bruce, I'd give up the internet to travel with the Indians.
Like forever? I mean, is he just
forever.
getting okay.
I'm just going to say forever for Bruce.
I don't know that I could give up the internet.
Yeah, no internet.
I'd feel very alone.
Would you?
And
I'll be your friend. You can text me.
Yeah,
I'll tell
how
you what's
can I
going
text you
on.
with no internet?
Your phone, text message. It doesn't have to be iMessage.
I don't think there's a lot you can do without the internet.
T9. Get a flip phone. Jamie, I'd give up chocolate chip cookies to meet Aaron Judge. Doan, I would give up my phone for 40 days to meet A-Rod. I'm sure I'd learn a thing or two.
How are you people doing this? I mean, listen, more power to you, but this phone is like, attached at the hip. It's like a body part to me at this point. I wouldn't give it up, for much, and definitely not to meet a professional athlete.
You said you had a great one. What would you give up?
Well, okay, this was before I heard all those other great ones, but when I was a kid, I loved spending my summers at the pool, and we'd be splashing around all day with your friends, and the ice cream truck would show up, and you'd go running after the ice cream man. Anyway, I was a huge Orioles fan growing up, so I would give up a summer at the pool to meet Cal Ripken Jr. I think that would be my one thing I would give up.
Do you go to the pool that often now?
No, but, I meet a good amount of players now, so it's more like when I was a kid or when I didn't have the chance to meet some of these guys.
All right, let me give you a few more. Okay. Rowan, I would stop watching TV and would love to meet Anthony Rizzo, a true role model and great player.
Yeah.
So instead of watching him on TV, he would just meet him in person.
Just get to hang out with them.
That's a good trade.
Yeah.
TJ, I'd give up cheesesteaks to meet Chase Utley.
Oh, no. What? The Silver Fox?
The Silver Fox.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, who is coming back. He's coming back to baseball.
Yes.
So that's good news for everybody.
Minor league deal with an invite to spring training with the Dodgers.
That's right. All right, Lawrence, I will not drink beer or sodas all baseball season long. So he goes longer than 40 days. If the Astros repeat, it would be hard because I'm totally addicted to soda.
Yeah, that would be tough. You'd go through extreme withdrawals, but it would be worth it.
It would be worth it. And I would give up chocolate to meet Yadier Molina. And I ate chocolate once again for breakfast.
I was going to say, no, you wouldn't.
I would give it up. And I just told you before the show, I actually think I am not one to participate in giving things up. But I think I did dry January. I think I'm going to give up chocolate for the next 40 days.
Listen, Dani, you can do it, more power to you. I just know you can't because I know your willpower with chocolate. I also have a bag of Kit Kats sitting out there. So if you want to avoid those Kit Kats,
I'm getting a cavity.
But they're delicious and crispy and chocolatey. And
that's enough. To our friends on Facebook, thank you for participating today.
Send Dani chocolate.
Don't send me any chocolate. Thank you. Hopefully you guys get to meet these people even if you don't give up all those crazy things.
Yeah. But those were excellent answers. Thank you so much.
Yes.
All right, we are 24 hours away from Delicious Box Chocolate Day. Valentine's Day. Sorry, Dani, not to get in on your weakness there, but that's the case. And the funniest thing is, Kieran Lovegrove, who's a pitcher in the Indians minor league organization, was a little caught off guard by Valentine's Day and being tomorrow. He's like, what? Now I have a very small window to find a girlfriend. Well, we have a suggestion. What about Match.com?
Oh.
Kieran, I'm telling you can meet other single baseball fans.
True.
Spend a great night, Valentine's Day together.
Yeah.
And then decide if your love blossoms from there or not. I mean, listen, with a name like Lovegrove, you have to have a date on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
It's like basically your birthday.
We had to give him some love today, so, Got my joke in. But no, in all seriousness, this was an amazing tweet. I thought it was so funny and it was ironic. And listen, if he wants to go, he seems a little young to need Match.com. Maybe just go hang out. Maybe go to the library or go play trivia. You meet cool people doing that. So
he's an adult, Dani, and he does not have a chocolate addiction, so he can do whatever he wants on Valentine's Day.
Well, that's probably why I'm still single, my chocolate addiction. So it's fine. It's all good.
Love it.
We're going to celebrate Valentine's Day tomorrow.
Yes.
We're going to have lots of love on the show, so please tune in and hang out with us.
Yeah, make sure you join us, and that'll be a lot of fun. All right, thanks, Dani. See you tomorrow. And see you tomorrow on Valentine's Day. Big thanks, by the way, to both Anthony DiComo and Anthony Castrovince. 2 Anthonys for the price of 1. Free for the show. So thanks to those guys for joining us, and we'll be back tomorrow. Again, tons of spring training coverage, so make sure you keep it locked right here on MLB.com. 12:25 live is what time the show starts tomorrow, and we will see you there. Take care, everyone.